let's talk about God's timing. In Mark 5:22 through 43, we see Jairus, who is a synagogue leader, and his 12-year-old daughter is dying, and he goes to Jesus and asks Jesus to heal her. There was a large crowd around Jesus, and Jesus was making his way to Jairus' house when the bleeding woman touched the edge of his garment, and Jesus decided to stop and ask who touched him. The answer to this, Jesus already knew. Now imagine if you were Jairus and you were wanting Jesus to come quickly to your house because your daughter was dying, and he just stops and asks who touched him, even though he was surrounded and people were touching him all over to the point where they were crushing him. There was so much pressure from all the people around Jesus. I think maybe there's some urgency in Peter's voice when Peter questions Jesus about this. After the bleeding woman's testimony, some people from Jairus' house, could have been friends, could have been family, came out to tell him to not bother the teacher anymore because his daughter is dead. I think it would be safe to understand Jairus' emotions at this point, the anger and the disappointment and the sadness going through his mind when he found out his daughter is dead because Jesus has taken too long to get to his house. But in verse 36, Jesus comforts him and says, "Do not be afraid, just believe." When they finally arrive at Jairus' house, the people inside are basically having a funeral service. Jesus kicks them out and raises Jairus' daughter from the dead. A couple lessons we can learn from this is God's timing is perfect. I'm sure Jairus wanted Jesus to rush over to his house right away without delay to heal his daughter. But instead, Jesus took the time for this unclean woman. It didn't matter to Jesus if Jairus' daughter was dead or not, because Jesus can do all things. I think we can also learn from this story to not listen to people who are trying to restrain God's power to earthly limits, like Jairus' friends and family who told him not to bother the teacher anymore, that his daughter is dead, and that we're having a funeral service for the girl. You just have to remember that God's timing is perfect. No matter if the worst has already happened, Jesus can reverse that because he can do all things.